coming right there.
Hi, hey everybody, we are here at the Redneck Riviera in Nashville, Tennessee. We got beautiful Broadway right outside. It's filled with rednecks and little lasses running around everywhere. I got a great live stream for you guys here tonight. You should see all the, we got beautiful ladies here. We've got a bunch of VIPs. And then I got rednecks, and I've got guys from 5th Special Forces Group. Some of the rednecks are also from 5th Special Forces Group. That's okay. I got John Rich here tonight, which is awesome. I also have a great sponsor tonight, Advanton E-Bikes. We're going to give a quick pause for them real quick. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Hey guys, election day. I hope you guys all voted. I know a great American that did vote, and I'm going to ask him to come up first here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only John Rich. Come snuggle.
Hey, Carl.
You got. I'll tell you what, I can give you this one. You want to talk?
This is perfect. How are you, Carl?
I am awesome. I appreciate you inviting us down here to your lovely bar.
You got it. Redneck Riviera. Is everybody having fun in the bar so far? Yeah?
I think so. We got a good crowd tonight. Good crowd. What do you think?
It's a big night. We got a great bartender. We're going to talk about guns, and we're going to watch this election. And what a big night for America.
Because you're more on the end than I am, how is this, are we going to see a red wave? Are we going to see a lot of purple out there? What are we going to see?
You know, I saw in Arizona today, I don't know if everybody has kept up with this today, but in Arizona, right out of the gate, there's these two Republican guys standing there that run the voting commission or whatever in Arizona. And they're standing there in Arizona in front of this voting machine going, now, 25% of our voting machines are not currently working, but trust us, your vote's going to count. And I said, are you shitting me? You've had 2 years to fix your stupid voting machine. Couldn't you have fixed it yesterday? So I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of distrust in the country with Republicans and Democrats and people running the elections that, you know, people say, well, you're trying to destroy democracy. And I go, we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic, guys. We're not a democracy.
And that just
so
burns
you can't destroy something that ain't there, dummy. So I look at it and say, hey, I know there are record amounts of people voting right now. You know, I think about guys like yourself serving the military and all the veterans that we have, all the active duty watching right now that, you know, Americans got to do something today that billions of other humans never get to do. They don't get to vote.
Yeah, one of my first deployments as a Green Beret was I had to go down to Haiti for the elections down there. And I watched all of the corruption, and I mean, the UN was even corrupt down there, but just saw everything. I was like, I'm so glad we don't have this problem in the US, that we have voter integrity, and there's no doubt our elections are 100% secure, and it turns out it's just not the case.
There's doubt now. There's doubt now.
There's a lot of doubt now, without a doubt.
I went out and I did a huge rally with Carrie Lake out in Arizona, and you know, she was up like 11 points running for governor, and I thought she probably needs to be up by 11 points to win by half a point.
Yeah.
And that's a terrible comment.
That's sad. It really
I think we're all just crossing our fingers tonight going, okay, what's this going to be? And everybody's having a drink and just kind of watching right now. But thanks for having me back on your show, brother.
Me allowing him on the show. His bar.
Yeah.
His bar.
Well, hey, this guy taught me how to properly shoot a 9mm, okay? How to properly handle
that was a good day.
That was a good day.
Trigger reset.
Trigger reset.
Trigger reset.
I learned a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that was you brought your brother and your dad out.
I did.
It was a good day. It was a good day. We'll have to do it again.
It was an incredible day.
Training, guys. It's okay to own a bunch of guns. I don't fear the guy that owns 200 firearms. I fear the guy that owns one and a spare and knows how to use them. You know, he spends all that money on training and everything else. So, yeah, hats off to you for dragging the family out to get a little. We had fun. We did.
We enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a lot. And since then, my dad goes, "Yeah, I'm going to have to upgrade that old 45." I said, "You think?" So I actually took him out to the Outpost Armory, Chris Barrett's store out there, and he tried out 4 or 5 different 9s and found the one that he liked.
Found one that he
liked.
liked.
Now he's got an actual
adult modern firearm.
Yes, he does.
That's awesome.
And he's been practicing with it all the time.
Awesome.
So that was great.
And you'd tell him, like, my wife and my daughter and my son all have modern firearms. They all do. I start teaching from my kids. They were 7 years old. They had to learn firearm safety. Now, my daughter could not run the action on these guns. She just didn't have the strength. She's a small girl, much older than that, but they had to learn the rules of firearm safety. And it's important. It's important that we educate the masses, and a lot of people are not. They're scared of firearms. That's like some people are scared of swimming. Yeah. That's okay, but let's get out there, and just because you're scared, we got to educate the next generation. So thank you for the support, without a doubt.
Oh, you got it. I think about all these people in the big cities where they basically eradicated the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Illinois, January 1, 2023, Illinois is putting in cashless bail, so no cash bail for crimes all the way up to second-degree murder in the state of Illinois. That starts January 1. And then they won't let their citizens carry.
Yeah. That's
so
insane.
Disarm the citizens, let out all the bad guys. Have a good time, Illinois.
And I get people from there. I get people from California, these other states, and they complain in the comment sections on our videos. They're like, "Carl, what do I do? I'm not allowed to carry here. I'm not allowed. Move to America. Move to America.
Yeah.
Come back to
go somewhere else." Well, and you see that. I mean, Tennessee is just exploding.
Florida, Texas.
People moving here from California, Illinois, New York. I see those license plates on our interstates all the time. And
everybody moving to America for a reason, and a lot of politicians don't see it.
Yeah.
We haven't been shut down yet. Usually, when I start talking politics, they immediately. The Google moderators, living in their mom's basement. Mom's upstairs making them Hot Pockets. The Google moderators usually shut me down. We've made it.
Well,
maybe you do have pull.
I would rather speak the truth and talk about real things and run the risk of some numbskull shutting you down than sit here cowering in fear that some numbskull is going to shut you down.
We may not be politically correct. We're just correct. And you're either going to accept us how we are or you're not. And I'm not going to lie for somebody. One thing I learned in the military was, and you see people that will step on other soldiers' backs to get promoted, do things like that. But at the end of the day, when you retire, all you have left is your name. And it doesn't matter how many medals you've got on the shelf and everything. When you walk through that airport, you've got people sitting there in the airport, and they're going to say, "You see that guy right there? I served with him. He's a piece of shit."
Yeah.
Or they're going to say, "You see that guy right there? I would follow him through the gates of hell if he asked me to go right now."
It's called integrity.
Integrity. It's not that hard, is it?
Well, it is for some people.
It is.
I mean, integrity is what you do when nobody can see it. When I could screw this guy over, but I don't.
Yeah.
Just because it ain't the right thing to do. That's called integrity. Today's the 8th of November. As we know, it's the election. But I had this huge song called The 8th of November about a Vietnam veteran from Deadwood, South Dakota. Was caught up in a battle November 8th, 1965 in War Zone D. There was an ambush, wound up being 30 Americans against 1,200 Viet Cong. They killed every guy that day, all the Americans except for 3 guys, my friend being one of them. They shot him up so bad he spent 2 years at Walter Reed. Finally got out of Walter Reed, 2 years. got out of Walter Reed, went back and signed up and did 3 more tours of
That's
NOM.
insane.
4 tours, the 173rd down in Georgia. And so he called me today. His name is Niles Harris. So if you go look that name up, Niles Harris, go look up Niles Harris. Go look up the 8th of November when this is over. It's a whole documentary. We went back to Vietnam, retraced his steps with him, went down the Mekong Delta, 2 hours up the Mekong Delta, back into the field where that battle went down, and had Niles with us, and he buried his army boots from that day in the hole where his buddies died. But today, Niles calls me.
He called you
today? Yeah, he called me
today.
today 'cause it's the 8th of
He
November.
called you today?
Today, like 4 or 5 hours ago.
Wow.
He said he was, you could tell he'd had a few cocktails.
Oh, no.
He's 81. He said, guess where I'm at? I said, where you at now? He goes, I finally made it to the wall. His first trip to D.C. Standing at the wall, and went and found all his buddies' names. It took him 3 hours to find all their names. Found every single one of their names. And every name that he found, he took a shot. So he was hammered. He was hammered. He said, I went through a whole bottle and a little bit more. I said, yeah. He said, man, thanks for writing that song. And I said, buddy, thank you for serving our country. And 8th of November to you, sir. So I can tell you the lyrics to the song. You want me to give you a little piece of it? I didn't bring a guitar, but you want me to do a little piece of the song since it's the 8th of November? Let's see. Said goodbye to his mama as he left South Dakota to fight for the red, white, and blue. He was 19 and green with a new M16, just doing what he had to do. He was dropped in the jungle where the choppers would rumble with the smell of napalm in the air. And then the sergeant said, look up ahead. And like a dark evil cloud, 1,200 came down on him and 29 more. Well, they fought for their lives, but most of them died in the 173rd Airborne. On the 8th of November, the angels were crying as they carried his brothers away. With the fire raining down and the hell all around, there were few men left standing that day. Saw the eagle fly through a clear blue sky. And that's all our vets in active duty out there. God bless y'all.
I was worried if you were going to do the other verses because I'm literally already tearing up, and you were going to make a scene up here. I appreciate that.
Hey man, we love you guys. We appreciate you. You know, I didn't serve in the military. I look for ways to serve the people that have served us. We support Folds of Honor. This bar, Redneck Riviera, we've sent $1.3 million back to the Folds of Honor so far.
Awesome.
Putting kids through college who lost a parent in combat. I think that's the strongest way to say thank you for your service, is to look after their kids. So, and we write songs about it, you know. And yes, sir.
All our vets out here, again, guys, thank you for your service. We've got John here, but I also have John Stryker Myers, McVie-Sog, legend, author, everything.
I have his book at my house right now. Thank you for the book, sir.
John, you want to come up, or you're gonna wait till later?
Come on up.
We got room. We got room. No, you ain't leaving, John.
Okay, I'm not leaving you.
I'm doing John Squared.
It's your show, brother.
My show. All right, so
Hold your drinks high in the air, folks. If you got a drink, hold it up. Thanks for coming to the Redneck Riviera. Here's to
Airborne.
Here's to Airborne, absolutely, on the 8th of November. And a constitutional republic, which is what we live in. On the count of 3, give me a hell yeah. Say 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Drink it down, y'all. Drink it.
I wish all of our viewers out there in TV land, and even including my Google moderators, because you need to hear this more than a lot of others. I wish you could see all the good people we got in here. Is it turned on? Yeah, it's on.
Good to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so you want to pull it out, John?
Pop it out.
Pop that out.
Pop it out. There you go.
Come on, you ain't got that weak on me.
Thank you.
All right. Where to go? So I've got the legend, John Rich. I've also got a another personal legend to me. I'm not downplaying you.
Trust me,
But,
I am downplayed. I promise you. We know about
All right, so I'm 55. I want to say I was junior high school, watching Saturday afternoon TV, and the John Wayne movie, The Green Berets, came on, and I decided in junior high school I was going to be a Green Beret. That's what I wanted. How many junior high school kids know what they want to do, right? My son made it through college, still doesn't know what he wants to do. But once I got in the military, your heroes aren't John Wayne and Rambo anymore. Your heroes are the McVie guys. And so John, sincerely, thank you for always being a hero to me, without a doubt.
Thank you, and you stood on our shoulders and took it to the next level, so let's salute you.
I don't know about the next level. Peacetime Army dials things back. You got to be spit polished again, and then the next conflict comes along. We take a big punch to the face, and then we dust off the old tactical SOPs and everything that you guys have put together, and it continues to repeat. Going back to stuff they did in World War I and then World War II, and these guys and some of my SF brothers, Sularu, Travis Rolfe, these guys, we would all get in trouble for cutting pockets off of our uniform and sewing them on our sleeves. But by the end of the war, even the regular army was putting pockets on their sleeves and everything. And we weren't the first to do it. These guys did it. They were doing it all the way back in World War II. It's nothing we invented. So
we got a sound. Where's our sound man?
Excuse me, that was me. No. All right, Nick, can you still hear us okay?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it is what it is.
You know, I've got a World War II song too. Did I ever play that for you called "The Man"? I think I might have played that at a Tactical Tuesday one time.
I don't think he did. We're gonna call it bullshit.
Tactical?
We have him do it right now.
Did I play
Want
The
to do it
Man?
again?
Yeah, I don't have a guitar, but this is you might remember it when I start singing it. But it was a song I wrote about my grandfather. Was a World War II guy. Remember it? And
You're gonna sing it with him?
he was a little guy, about 5'4", 115. At 17 years old, he lied and told him he's 18 so he could get in. And he got in there, and they realized this guy was so vicious and such a good shot. Like, he was the guy, if they said, "Hey, Bill, shoot the squirrel," he'd say, "Left eye or right eye," with the 22 short.
Nice.
He could hit anything, hillbilly, Glasgow, Kentucky. And so they put him into a unit called the Tunnel Rats. They made him a tunnel rat.
Yep.
And so he spent his whole time fleshing Japanese out the other side of the caves, and had multiple Purple Hearts when it was over, hooked on morphine for 2 years when he got home. The whole story. I lived to be 80, but about a month after he died, I wrote this song called "The Man." And the song has never been on country radio because they say it's too aggressive. I said, "Too aggressive? Country radio, aren't you the guys that played Johnny Cash? I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die." Didn't y'all used to play songs like that? Bunch of sissies at country radio? What do you mean?
That was the old
Too
country
aggressive. What about Cocaine Blues, Johnny Cash? I mean, come on. If Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, and the rest of them were trying to put music out in 2022, they would never get a record deal, and you would never hear them on the radio, ever. That's why country music sounds so weak right now, because it is weak, because they're not letting strong people in. That's for sure.
All right, well, they haven't shut down my live stream yet, so
You're good for ratings.
give it a try. Give it a try.
All right, so here's a song I wrote about my granddaddy.
I'm not gonna cry,
The Man.
am I?
No, I don't think you'll cry.
Okay.
It goes, let's see. I'm used to doing it with a guitar. Well, he was one of the millions who signed up to defend us long ago in 1941. And when they sucker punched us in Pearl Harbor, he fought under MacArthur 17 with an Army Thompson gun. Well, he stormed a line of beaches, slept in jungles with the leeches. He saw things a young man should never see. And when they shot him in the shoulder, he got back up and he marched forward, left a lot of brothers dead in Kwajalein. And if it wasn't for the good Lord and the man, well, there wouldn't be a breath of freedom in this land. When I see people on my TV taking shots at Uncle Sam, I hope they always remember why they can. 'Cause we'd all be speaking German and living under the flag of Japan if it wasn't for the good Lord and the man. If it wasn't for the good Lord and the man. Can I get a hell yeah one time? You know, country music.
It's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be, right? That's the way country music's supposed to be. All right. For all our viewers out there, they're like, "Where's Steve? Where's Steve? Where's Steve? We need Steve. Show me Steve. Steve. Come here, Steve. I'm bailing.
Come on up, Steve.
Come on. No.
I see Chris Barrett hanging out. What's up, Chris?
All right, hold on, guys. Steve's got to put his sunglasses on first.
People like you can sing and people like me. He said, "What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up?
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand out and walk out on Steve?
Yeah! Lend me your ears.
And I'll sing you a song. I will try not to sing out of key with Steve." I love you, Steve. What's happening?
With a little help from my friends.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
Living a dream.
That mic close. There you go.
I'm scared. 8th November, not only anniversary of the song. I mentioned this to a couple of friends of mine, and my career goes back 30 years, 24 years in Special Forces. And I met John, and I really started, listening to some of John's songs, and I saw the 8th November that he played it for us last time. But then I saw the documentary, and I watched it. At first I looked at it, and I think it's like, 50 minutes long, something like that. I said, I'm gonna skip through some of this stuff. But then I had to go back, and I watched the whole documentary. And I mentioned to him, but I didn't really have a chance to really get into it because.
Can you hold that mic a
little bit
closer?
Susan complained. Hello, Susan.
Yeah, there you go. You're welcome, America.
Excuse me. Tactical Rifleman Nation. I miss you guys. You know I love you. And we always start the show off, and we always remember, blessed is he or she who shepherd the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brothers and sisters' keeper and the finder of lost children. We all serve the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
So I watched this documentary with John, and I started sending it out to people, and I looked back at my career, and I remember mentioning to John, I said, you met this veteran, you took him in, he told you a story, you wrote a song, you and Big got on a plane, flew to Vietnam. And I said, you got on a plane and flew to Vietnam with the intent of going to the battlefield where this occurred.
Correct.
And I remember talking to Carl and a couple other guys. I said, Carl, if someone offered for you to go back to some of the places where we've served, and 5th Group has served in Fort, Afghanistan, Iraq, and places else, to do a documentary, I said, would you go? He goes, hell no. He said, hey, Steve, would you go? No, not unless we got like jets in the air, tanks on the ground. You went to Vietnam. I mean, you don't know how big that is. I mean, Sue, if they ask you to go back to some of these places, just go with a film crew and hang out and film and walk around and point out all the area where you killed people, would you go?
If he had enough whiskey, he would. That's right.
So
take a little bit.
Yeah, you guys get a chance, go on YouTube, look up John Rich's 8th of November.
Yeah.
Not just the official music with he and Big, but look up the documentary. It's amazing. Because we're not talking about flying to Vietnam, going to the city. We're talking about get on a paddy boat, go out into the jungle, and walk around and say, hey, this is where the battle happened. Knowing that a lot of these people are only one generation away from the people that got killed.
So Steve, the guy that took us back, that was able to show us exactly what the coordinates were, was fighting for the other side. So he was North Vietnamese. And so I watched Niles Harris, an American who got shot up big time by the Viet Cong, stand there and look at a Viet Cong guy and then walk with him out into the field. I mean, it was intense. It was incredible, right? It was incredible. And we realized that Niles told us that the 173rd did not have a memorial. There is no memorial for the 173rd. I said, really? He goes, yeah, there's not one. And so me and Big Kenny called Leonard Skinner and Gretchen Wilson and some other ones, and we did a big concert in Atlanta. And we raised enough money that night. It was almost $1 million. We raised it was 30,000 tickets. And we built the memorial to the 173rd. So it's now there. It is classy. Go check that out anytime you're around Fort Benning. It's badass.
All right.
So,
That is badass.
yeah.
That is badass. I just want everybody to know to search and look up this video. TR Nation, you know what I always say when you ask these crazy questions like you're asking now? Here's a pencil. Pick it up, write something suspenseful. Okay? There's a Google. It's a search engine. Don't expect calling Steve to do all this background work for you, but I love you. And to all our guys over in Australia, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, 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 there we go, there we go. I know you're watching. I know you're watching. Mr. Striker Tilt,
Yes, sir.
what do you think about him going to Vietnam?
I'm amazed, and that story was incredible. And I tip my parade to you, sir, for doing that, because you captured a lot for all the vets that ever served in Vietnam. To see that, and to see that human side of the story was incredible. And then to come back to do what you did with the 173rd on top of it.
Yeah.
Airborne all the way, yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. It was incredible, guys. Incredible. Everybody's got these different jobs, but that particular one going out, I said, Niles, what's this big ass hole we're walking down into? He said, this is where one of the bombs hit, and you could see them laid out. He goes, this is where the bombs hit them out. And I was struck by how big the thorns were. So you're out in the jungle, and it looks like a grapevine. It's about that big around, growing like this, and then the thorns off that thing are big as my thumb, like a nail head. And I went, you crawling through this stuff? He went, yeah.
Welcome to the jungle, baby.
Woo, buddy.
Welcome to the jungle.
That's a nasty terrain.
They've got those. They got this other called the black palm, and the thorns grow in layers, in bands, spaced bands. And they always say, the natives say, when you slip and fall in the jungle, the black palm will come to you because that's the first thing you grab when you reach out and stop falling. So it's a
Nasty.
interesting place.
Yeah.
It's just a tough environment, and again, my hat's off to you. That's a hell of a trip to take because nobody made you go.
Right.
Nobody paid you to go. You just went.
Well, Niles told us the reason the trip happened was because Niles said the only thing that made it back to the States with him was his army boots. And it still had blood stains on them and all. For some reason, those actually made it back with him. And he had them hanging in his garage in South Dakota all these decades later. And I saw him. I said, is that the actual boots? He went, yeah, that's the actual boots. That's blood on them and mud, and that's Vietnamese mud. And he said, yeah, I always just wanted to go back and have a shot of whiskey down in one of them holes and bury my boots back where all my brothers went down. Because he lost 27 of them. He goes, man, those guys were 19, 20, 21. They didn't get to live out their American dream. They didn't get to go have families and do all the things that they should have been able to do because they died out there. And he goes, you know, I'm sure there was some survivor's guilt with that a little bit with Niles. And he wanted to just go back and just touch it one more time and put his boots. So he buried them. We took an army shovel and them spades, dug a hole out in the bottom of a hole and buried his boots. Yeah, watch the documentary. It's incredible. When this is over, when Tactical Tuesday's over and you're still sitting on your computer, just look up 8th of November documentary and you'll find it. Thanks for bringing it up, man. And it is the 8th of November today, so good day to watch it.
Yeah, and
Thanks,
that's
Steve.
why when we spent the last 4 months coordinating this, and you and Carl both said, hey, I'm open on 8th November. I said, 8th November? That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's like the anniversary.
That's today.
And,
Yeah.
that was
Talking to the mic, Steve.
Talking to the mic, Steve.
I am the mic.
There you go. Drop the mic.
So we're going to have Mr. Sularu come up here real quick.
Excellent. Come on
And,
up.
no, you stay.
Well, I'm going to scoot off here in a minute anyway, because
Okay.
in case y'all didn't know it, there's an election going on, and I'm going to check in with a few people. But I'll be here for a minute.
Before you step on, let's talk about the election a little bit.
Okay.
Because this election is, as
Oh, yeah.
we all know, it's it's probably the most important one this century. It's going to change the balance. The balance needs to be changed. So I'm
Yeah.
going to turn it over to you.
What's interesting to me is that the things that are upsetting Americans right now are bigger than Republican and Democrat ideologies. It's bigger than that, because guess what? Everybody has to buy gas. Everybody has to buy food. Everybody saw how Afghanistan went down. Everybody's looking at the border. Everybody who's got kids are watching what they're doing to them in the schools. It's has ballooned outside of being a Democrat or Republican. Now it's, are you just a human being? Can you deal with this shit anymore? And people are going, I can't deal with it anymore. You know, you see the Hispanic vote has now flipped. It is like
Absolutely.
totally in inverse of the last election, because they're realizing, hang on a minute, guess who hates illegal immigration more than anybody? Legal immigrants hate illegal immigration more than anybody, because they stood in line, they paid the money, they took the test, they waited, they filled out that green card over and over and over, and kept going until they became a full-blown American citizen and pledged their allegiance to our country. And they turn on the television and they see millions of people pouring across the border because they hate it more than anybody hates it. Trust me. And so I think the Democrats thought, hey, you know, we'll just let everybody in. The Hispanic Americans will love that. Oh, they miscalculated in a major way. They absolutely hate it. So they've overplayed their hand to such a degree that I think the communistic nature of it, you just saw Miami-Dade County is blood red right now. It's totally red in Miami-Dade County. Are you
amazing.
kidding
Who
me?
would ever thought it?
I don't think it's ever happened. But
No.
you guess what you've got in Miami-Dade? A lot of Cuban Americans in Miami-Dade who fled where? Cuba, which is what kind of country? Communist. So they look at Joe Biden and they look at these people in power and they go, these people are acting like communists right now. We fled that. We don't want that in our country. We're Americans, by God. So they're voting for people who they believe actually still love freedom and want to let people exhaust their potential. This is exciting. This is history tonight going down, watching some of these votes. That's what I think about the election. That's a little bit of what I think about it.
Even Cesar Chavez agreed with you.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's right. Enough is enough. That should have been the theme to this election. Enough is enough.
Amen.
Let's just hope they count the votes.
Oh, good luck.
Right?
Right. Let's go. Thank you,
All
sir.
right. Thanks, brother. Good seeing you, man.
I'll see you in a minute.
Mr. Stark.
My
Good
pleasure.
seeing you again, sir. Thank you. God bless you.
Sue, hold what you got. John, come on, let's do it. Yeah, guys, that was a bit of good entertainment from Mr. John Rich, who's also a great shooter.
I'm out of here.
And also, awesome, great shooter. We're now going to get a little technical on your Tactical Rifleman Nation. We're going to bring up the representatives from Proof Research, carbon fiber barrels. And why are we showing you Proof Research, carbon fiber barrels? You're about to find out. Introduce yourself, sir.
Cole Bender. Cole Bender.
And what is Cole Bender's job?
Depends on the day. I do a lot of technical stuff, tooling design, equipment design.
And come on, Bobhead.
Well, we build rifle barrels.
Bobhead. John Clements, my brother, John Clements, formerly of NSWC Crane, formerly of Dev Group, and now with Proof Research. Explain to everybody what Cole Bender does.
Cole's a genius. He's one of our design, really an engineer by trade. He's really one of the original plank owners from one of the four companies that came together to form Proof Research back in the mid-2000s. So he didn't give himself enough credit, but Cole's the lifeblood of what goes on in the production side of how we do things, all the tooling design for all of our barrel making and everything associated with really the core part of our product. So.
Thanks, John.
And I do business development. I just work off a computer and a cell phone now. So it's been an honor to work with these guys for the last almost 9 years. But Steve's got one of our products here that's a small sample of the
Anybody
technology.
that's into AR-15s, pretty much know what proof research barrels are. They're the first company and still the only company that mastered the ability to take a steel rifle barrel and wrap it in carbon fiber. And I don't mean just like wrap it like you're wrapping something like you get a sewing machine or something like that. I'm talking about something that maintains the accuracy or increases the accuracy, reduces the weight, and it is an absolute work of art. This is a proof research carbon fiber barrel. Tell us about it, Cole. How do you make? I mean, everybody understands what carbon fiber is. How do you do that? That's probably got 1 million yards of carbon thread, and it's wrapped around a barrel, and it can take the heat of rapid firing through a semi-automatic or full automatic carbine. Explain that to us.
Yeah, so our barrels, we build the whole thing in-house. So it starts as bar stock, go through, drill it, ream it, rifle it, lap it. Then we turn it down and give ourselves room for the carbon fiber wrap. And the wrap itself, if you think of a level wind fishing reel,
Right.
that's basically what it looks like. It's very technical.
So it's like putting monofilament line on your spool. On your,
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. So it comes off a spool. It's wound on the barrel back and forth. When they come off the winding machine, they're over wrapped quite a bit, so they don't look anything like this. They go through a heat cycle to cure the resin, and then we grind the excess material off with a grinding wheel and a lathe. So there's a lot of math in it. Our wrap is, as far as I know, the only wrap that's engineered to match the thermal tendencies of the liner. So there's a lot of scientific stuff going into that.
Bumphead.
That's not my job.
Bumphead. So I'm going to, I want to pass this out around so you guys can pass this. Most of you guys know things about barrels to actually see the craftsmanship on that barrel. If you have anything, any understanding of wrapping 1 million yards of this thin carbon fiber, thinner than any fishing line you've ever seen.
And to add to that, we have different recipes of resin that apply to different duty cycles that the barrel would be applied to, whether it's going into a military environment or whether it's a commercial environment. We can tailor that resin to compete with the heat cycles and the thermal environments that the barrel's going to see. So it's not one size fits all as far as the material that we add to that barrel. Depends on the customer. As far as I know, we're the only composite barrel company that are offering those features in our composite barrels.
Cole, got anything else to add? I mean, you're live on TV. Here's your opportunity. Don't go over there sitting and have a drink and go, man, I should have said this, I should have said that.
I try to say less, make myself look smarter.
Say, hey, buy our barrels. Proof research.
Everybody already knows they need to buy our barrels, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for coming up. Next, we're going to have up Mr. Travis Mitchell. Mr. Travis Mitchell, are you ready?
Yo, Travis.
You ready?
Thank you, Steve. It's been an
You're
honor.
welcome, brother.
It's been an honor to be here. Thank you.
I've known John, guys, over 25 years. John was one of the original gun designers, builders of match rifles, 300 Win mags for all the Navy SEALs during this time at NSWC Crane. So a lot of the McMillan 300 Win mag bolt guns that went into combat during those time periods, John is a guy that basically built and chambered the rifles. And you couldn't get better. We call them JRC rifles because that's his initial. So if you got a rifle in combat and you looked on the front side of the barrel and it had JRC initials on it, you knew it was going to shoot hard. So next up, we're going to have Mr. Travis Mitchell, representative of Pixel on Targets. And Pixel on Target, well, I'm going to let Travis explain what the company is and what they do.
Well, Pixels on Target, we develop the most accurate thermal sights on the market, used by special operators in the military. What makes ours unique is the accuracy and precision that the thermal sight puts out. We can control the basically zero the thing and exactly to the weapon as a zero is. And the clarity, and it's a 12 micron detector in there. The display is a 460 by 480 display, 640 by 480 display. Huh? Yeah. You just turn it on right here. So these sights here, they can clip on the weapon system. They can have a mount on there that flips out of the way so they can use their primary sight. And with that, it allows them to engage targets that they can see the thermal signature on it. So they're small, lightweight, and the most advanced sights on the market.
Okay, I'm going to pass this model around to the guests so they can see and understand thermal technology. But this is the Voodoo S, and the Voodoo S has the capability as a standalone or a clip-on, right?
Standalone clip-on or mount to your helmet.
And this is
the Voodoo M for medium. The engagement range on that is from 1 to 100 meters to 1,500 meters. You can shoot targets with that. And then we also, with all of our sights, we can connect them to a radio. So you can basically have a team in an area. They can see exactly what they're seeing on the COC back in the rear. And that's just a cooled sight, which is called a long wave sight.
okay, so to help you people, help us, all of us, you people, understand what is the range for that you can identify a human being with this sight?
I can identify human beings out to 1,000 meters.
Say that again?
Huh?
Say it again.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Yeah. I can see weapons and stuff on them to 800 meters.
With this sight, you can identify a human being out to 800 meters, thermal image, and determine whether that person is carrying a weapon or not. 800 meters, that's identification, okay? What is recognition range?
Recognition, you can go out to probably 2K, you could recognize them.
Recognizing that it's a person out to 2,000 meters.
And what makes them very unique is most of your thermal sights, and you've been there, Steve, when you have like a 5 to 25 powered scope and you go up to 10x, it pixelates it, you can't see, it's not a clear image. You can actually shoot a variable powered scope up to 14x.
Wow. Wow.
They're pretty impressive.
Laser rangefinder?
This one does not have a rangefinder on it, but we have about 5 different products that we're currently in prototype stage that we're making with the laser rangefinder on it. And the good thing about it is for a machine gunner, we're doing it. So he'll zero it, put it on the machine gun, and then it has applied ballistics in it, and then he'll be able to range the target, and the X will move to the correct hold point for the machine gun.
Okay. Turn it over. Turn it over.
Huh?
Turn it over.
Turn it on?
Yeah. Okay, and this one?
The next product up here is the Voodoo B for binocular. With this system here, we got a 70 millimeter lens on it. It's got a focus knob on the bottom. I have a built-in laser rangefinder on it. I have an IR pointer and a visible pointer on it. I got a DMC compass in it and the most accurate GPS on the market. Once I get everything up and running, it'll give me my lat long still coordinate, and then once I fire the rangefinder, I get a 10-digit grid to that location. So I can call bombs and stuff like that. And it's the smallest binocular on the market that's uncooled. It weighs about 3 pounds. Most of the stuff that you see the guys using are 5, 6, 7 pounds.
Exactly.
So we try to make the devices as small as we can because of all the weight that soldiers have to carry.
Absolutely. So with this sight, what is the identification range for a human being?
I would say it's roughly, to see a human being, we were getting about 1,000.
1,000?
Yeah.
So-
But like seeing big buildings and targets, we're on a road in Vegas and seeing buildings at 5 miles.
Wow.
So recognizing a
Wow.
building. So
Absolutely incredible. If you understand thermals, or if you understand night vision, you understand the difference between thermals and night vision. Night vision is going to give you what you can see with the naked human eye in the daytime, but reduced illumination. It won't get you past trees, brush, obstacles, or anything that's what we consider cover and concealment. Thermal is a whole different story. As the guests are seeing out right now, we're passing the site around. We were looking through a thermal site, and we saw something in the trees, probably about 300, 350 yards away. We couldn't figure it out. And then later on, we figured out it was turkeys roosting in the trees at night. And you can't see that with night vision. Night vision only enhances the existing illumination that you're getting from moonlight, starlight, and any other kind of light producing element in that area. So that's why they used to call it earlier night vision starlight, because you need light. With thermals, you don't need that. I mean, as they always say, you can hide from night vision, but from the thermal, you can't hide, you can't run. And that's, tell us a little bit about the company.
Pixels on Target, again, we started about three years ago. They're out of Sunrise, Florida, is where everything's manufactured in the United States. The company started because the two owners, the military told, no, you cannot develop a site in less than 90 days. It's going to be the most accurate site. So they did it, and then they got started getting contracts when they proved that they could do that. We like to solve problems for the service. It's not about just this product or any project. If there's some problems that you have in the military, we want to solve them. And these guys are all about doing that at Pixels on Target. And just great people.
And we're going to post some photographs and some references in the chat room, so you have the information on the company itself, Pixels on Target. And again, this is my good friend Travis Mitchell, formerly of Surefire and Wilcox. And Travis and I worked back in the day with Surefire when we developed the Surefire Hellfighter light for the minigun systems. And
That's not the only thing we developed.
no, go ahead.
So when we were at Surefire, met Steve, and he's a true American that just makes sure that when he was a Force Mod guy, I want to make sure my guys have the kit that they need. And it didn't matter if any of the other groups had theirs, he had his role, and that was to get the gear to the guys. So I would always bring an engineer with me out there, Paul Kim. And he would... PK, Photon King, and the first one we did was the helmet light. Remember the helmet mount on the helmet? So that's a Steve project. We also developed the Scout light with Steve, the MU system with Steve.
The clicky switch.
Huh?
The clicky switch.
The clicky switch, and then the Hellfighter light was probably the biggest endeavor that we did with Steve, to put on the 50 cals and the miniguns. So.
And Travis, I mean, he's still out there in the industry making things happen, and that's what he does. He's a former Marine, and he's always out there in the industry at the leading edge of any kind of technology that's out there to support the warfighters. You got anything else?
I don't have anything else. I mean, at Wilcox, that was, developing the helmet mounts and rangefinders. So I've developed one of the first rangefinders that had a ballistic computer in it at that company. So, and as you can see, everyone's using them now on the battlefield. So it's always good to go out there and be able to, since I'm not in the service, develop kit or go out there and make sure you're providing Marines, Navy, Army the best kit that they can possibly have, so they can come home to their kids.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you,
have
sir.
Anything else?
TR Nation, Travis Mitchell.
Thank you, Steve.
Randy Worst, coming up here. Coming up here, Randy.
He's got a flight tonight.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay, that's what we'll do. Didn't know that. Okay, let's go. Carl, where you at? Sub in. I gotta do something.
He's got to do something. Am I opening the box of oil?
No, you don't ever.
I don't ever
touch
open the box
and
of
they
oil.
go,
I just spilled water all
So,
over.
you start suppressor division.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve.
Good to go. Check.
Accidentally spilled my water.
Okay. Start. Keep going.
So we got two Carls up here and Nick.
All right, where's your partner in crime at?
He's, I believe, grabbing what's the necessary supplies for the golden box, which I think you spilled all over there.
All right,
but
so your partner in crime, that's actually your dad.
it is.
All right, so
Nick
your
Lewis.
father's name is Carl.
Carl Lewis. not
My
me.
name's Carl, and my son sitting right over there is Nick. So it's kind of easy for me to figure out your name. I
Yeah.
can figure this out.
Make it easy on you.
All right. LMT. What's LMT stand for?
Lewis Machine and Tool. So I'm actually here. I've got a very small pennant for LMT AT. Which
You
is,
guys do. A lot of you guys that aren't familiar with them, LMT makes awesome guns. Very accurate guns. It's your 308 gas gun. Aren't the Brits running it?
Yep.
So my time in SF, towers fell. I started running the SR25 Mark 11. No, I'm not a big fan of Reed Knight. I'm not. That's another story. We're not going to talk about it. But I love 308 gas guns. You don't bring a bolt gun to a gunfight. You bring a gas gun to a gunfight. These guys right here make one of the best gas guns on the planet. Am I allowed to say that on the internet?
I think so.
I think I
Some
just
would
did.
say the Ferrari.
My channel. Night Armament, LMT. I'm taking the LMT blaster. I really am. So I'm allowed to say that. I am allowed to
We
say
appreciate the endorsement, Carl, but some would say the Ferrari of firearms.
that. But Dad put you in charge of a new division.
Correct.
What is new for LMT?
So it's LMT Advanced Technologies. So that entails the biggest things here is the suppressors laid out in front of us. We also have a shot counter. We're working on a few other products which will keep you interested in the future. But for today, I want to kind of showcase and go through. That's hot off the press, hot off production actually. That's our Link 30. So that's actually for our belt fed for
I was going to say
7.62
this
by
is
51.
for belt fed.
Yep.
That thing's not made
So
for
this
AR.
actually, we're going to take off this second baffle here.
Okay.
But just fresh off production, wanted to bring it down, give you guys a
Nice,
sneak peek.
nice.
But this is our Ion Link 30. So we have a few suppressors here. The Ion 556K, just for a standard 5.56 caliber 223.
What muzzle brake does this go over?
So we have our own muzzle brakes.
Your own muzzle brake.
Also, if you have your own muzzle brake, obviously able to incorporate that in as well.
All right, so SOCOM's running the Surefire brakes. Could you swap that out so it would fit on those?
You could. So we also have our own brakes.
Oh, of course. I wouldn't expect anything less. You
Yeah.
gotta have your own stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, guys, I can't get over the weight of that. All right, so,
So
what makes your baffle so sexy compared to everybody else's?
So this is it's actually our non-cert coated yet, but we have Inconel welds here. I'll do my best to not get my fat fingers in, but these Inconel welds here right at the top. help to break up the gas, but also this is the best job I can do. But there are small inserts here as well. So when the gas goes through, thank you, sir. As the gas goes through, you're not only having the gas go through the center behind the projectile, but also around the rim. So you're getting all the gas expanding, helping to reduce blowback.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but basically, you see the small holes at the top. That's venting the gas around the baffles. That's sexy.
So we'll let the sexy engineer kind of expand on that.
Carl's got it, man.
Dad,
He's got it.
I've been hanging out with Sonny Boy here, Nick has been bringing me up to speed on it. We started off bragging about how you guys got the contract with the Brits for their accurized gas gun.
Right.
I don't remember the nomenclature. What do you guys call it?
L129A1.
Nice. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's gas gun, but if you saw the gun that I'm deer hunting with this Saturday, you'd be like, Carl, we so gotta get you a better gas gun. No, mine's nice, but I'm not gonna say the name of the guys that make it. That is sexy, dude. Check that out.
So also something to point out here is we also do a laser weld on the top, so just a smoother weld compared to a TIG weld. No filler in there, but
the welds go all the way around.
Correct.
All the way around. That sounds trivial, right? Well, why does that matter? It matters because there are companies out there that don't weld their baffles all the way around, and some of the big name suppressor companies only tack weld, and we've had them fail in combat. If you're at the range doing pew-pew on a Saturday afternoon and your suppressor, you blow a weld in a baffle, no big deal, but understand LMT is making stuff that's fit for not just the military, but special ops guys that are gonna beat the snot out of this. And I personally need welds that go all the way around. And not every company, I'm happy to hear that. You just made my day.
So Carl he's a great engineer, I wouldn't say a great salesman, but all of the AT technology products all come from the same, LMT is a manufacturer, engineering is the same, manufacturing is the same, quality is the same, everything is held on the same roof. So to your point, we have all this military testing background with LMT, with law enforcement,
awesome.
But we've been able to take all those years of hard work and expertise and also money spent along the way to put that into the suppressor to redesign that for the average consumer. So, you're getting a military designed, if you will, suppressor that's been worked through and redesigned and repurposed and enhanced for the average consumer. So I don't think Carl does a great job of detailing that out, but it's really a quality product that can attest to all the testing, the various rigorous NATO testing, mil spec testing that they do, and it's a great product.
Nice. All right, so Dad, what did Nick miss? Where do you want to start?
No, you guys both ham and egged it up very well. You've covered the big details on what's going on, and again, our DNA is to make a top quality product and always look to enhance and, to your point, make it better for everyone. Much like this is our belt fed.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about. So when we say belt fed, this is 308.
Yes.
Or 338.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
You got to remember, SOCOM's leaning to a 338 now. 338 Norma, or is it 300 Norma?
338 Norma
338,
for the belt fed.
Yeah. You
So
can't
that's-
replace my 50. Just please don't do that. I love the 50 cal.
So that's our belt fed. We have our 308 can over there. We also, as I said earlier, have the regulators available. Have a dedicated 5.56, and then what we don't have available, just due to production and coming hot off demand, is we also have a version of the Ion 30 in titanium. So where the Ion 30 is about 19 ounces, you cut that weight on the titanium to 14. And we actually add on another 2 baffles with that. So enhanced sound suppression, reduced blowback.
Guys, I got a lot of time behind suppressors. I'm old. I'm 55. I'm old.
Young man.
But if you guys, a lot of our loyal followers, my son posts pictures every so often, and a lot of my patrons, they they've seen a lot of my pictures, but if you go back and look at some of our pictures from the initial invasion of Iraq, not Afghanistan, but Iraq, we ran a 240 machine gun swing arm on the front of my truck, and it had a suppressed barrel on it, and that was it was a suppressor we were testing out for a company, and it did okay. It was 3 times this size, and where people would grab this and they go, well, that's heavy. It's heavy compared to one I'd put on, man, that is so freaking light. But understand, belt-fed machine gun, it's going to take a lot of abuse, and I'm interested to see it work.
It's just a
so when
science.
we going to range,
Just
Dad?
a science
Yeah.
behind it.
When we going to range?
Pick a time and date.
Are you bringing this stuff to SHOT Show?
Yes.
We are.
You gonna be there range day or?
Yeah, we'll be there.
Nice. Okay. All right. So you guys don't get to shoot it. No. But I'm going to SHOT Show a day early. They do what's called range day. Cool part is they open it up a few hours early for these social media influencers. I got a bunch of SF guys sitting out here. If you had asked me 10 years ago, hey Carl, are you going to be a social media influencer? I would have punched you right in the throat. There's no way I would do this. There's just no way. But at the same time, and that's why our channel doesn't do very good. I'm not about the jackassery, the blowing up tannerite, and girls in bikinis. I'm not against girls in bikinis. Don't get me wrong. But we're about let's help make concerned citizens into capable citizens. Let's help out our law enforcement. Let's help out our military. So anyways, that's where this channel goes. And the cool part is it allows me to get in on a lot of this cutting edge stuff, those thermals that Travis just shared. And man, I can't wait to shoot this puppy.
Always
I gotta bring my own belt fed?
always fun to shoot belt fed, but it's a little bit better when you can go home and hear your wife yell at you at the end of the day.
Tell you what, one of the there's certain war stories you're not allowed to share on the internet. Some of my favorite memories, the doc when I did my VA physical said, "That's Carl, you have post-traumatic stress." I'm like, I don't. These are. Oh, I don't. He said, "You dream about these." I'm like, those are good memories, right? Those are good dreams. You understand?
Not
Those are
nightmares.
Shooting a solder, getting into your second can of ammo on a minigun in Solder City. That's a beautiful day. That's how you know when you've got to do a tac mag reload to a second 3,000 round can. You know you're having a good night. So I like crew serve weapons. I've never shot anybody with a 240 machine gun. I never have.
So we're actually.
I'm only 55. There's always that. There's the to-do list.
You're a young man.
I'm young. I can pull this off. I can pull it off.
But to your previous point, and growing up with Carl as my dad, every time we went shooting, it was really just testing. So it was all right. Dump 500 rounds down range, and we'll get it.
I did not realize how much ammo cost until I retired. Oh my God, it's crazy. It is. I shoot 1,000 rounds of 45 every week in Baghdad in 2007. Yeah, 2007. I remember I'd go to my supply guy and get a new can of 1,000 rounds of 45, Israeli-made 45, by the way. Thank you, taxpayers, for paying for that. and so can you imagine, that's my sidearm, can you imagine how much ammo the SF guys are shooting, 5.56, ammo through my SR-25, the 177 grain, no, I'm sorry, 178? 178 Sierra Match King. Yeah. Man, I'm getting old. I got Dane Grammage. So, I'm looking forward to range day already. You can bring this stuff so I can play with it. All right, so besides the suppressors, anybody can make suppressors. It's a muffler to go on my car. I understand why you gave it to the son. I'm joking. What's new for Lewis Machine and Tool? What's the next? You got the British contract. You're making great guns. What's next on the horizon for you guys?
One of our focuses is to take that information and the military testing and NATO testing and bring that back down to enhancing an experience for the consumers.
Yeah.
So we're looking at coming up with some new, our quick change barrel system with our monolithic rail system to be able to address some of the hunting needs.
Yeah.
So we're baking that cake and should have that ready. Looking at taking our other technology and teaming with True Velocity, and we'll be having a rifle that uses their commercial variant.
They're going to make your barrels.
We make our own barrels.
So what are you doing with True Velocity?
We have a barrel chambered in their new 6.8
yeah.
polymer.
Okay.
So that'll be coming out for SHOT Show.
Always got something cooking, Carl. Always got something cooking.
No, that's what it's got to be. It's got to be. All right, so you've answered all my questions. I'm not taking questions from the studio audience tonight. I know, actually, if you guys have a question out there for these fine gentlemen, all you got to do is throw stuff at me, just preferably something that's not lethal. All right, but for everybody at home, we're not doing questions tonight. I know we usually do. My phone keeps dinging. Guys and gals are sending me questions, and I don't care. All right, because we have too many cool guests tonight. We really do. So, you answered all my questions. What do you want to share with the masses out there?
Well, just that, again, with our lineage and DNA, as Nick was talking about, to be able to take those experiences to make very high-level, high-performance products is to round the brand out, to be able to address shooting sports enthusiasts as well as hunters, to bring our products and quality to everybody.
He mentioned something earlier, monolithic rail. They're not the only ones that make them, but they make awesome ones. Okay, cool. Quick change barrels, they're not the only ones that make them, but they make awesome ones. Cool. But making, and the only reason I know is yours is like one of the only true success stories out there is you understand when I say monolithic rail, it's the whole upper receiver and the handguard, that's all one piece.
Right.
The advantage of that, guys, is when that gun goes off and that shockwave runs down the barrel, wherever I put that optic, it's maintaining at zero. Okay, fine, but by being able to change barrels, a lot of people are thinking, well, okay, I can have 5.56, or 308, right? I can have 308, but then I can put that 6.5 Creedmoor in there for the competition shooting, and then I could put a 500 Beowulf or whatever, depending on what size action you have. And you guys are thinking like that, and that's awesome. But the added benefit of it is the part that a lot of people miss when the military had this requirement to be able to change barrels is it's not about holding zero. The way, again, the towers fell, I immediately deployed and I pretty well stayed over there. My only regret in life is I missed 10 years of my son growing up. So be glad you had your dad the whole time. But let's say, hypothetical situation, you've got that sniper team up on the mountain in Afghanistan at their little safe house. You can only shoot so many rounds, and then all of a sudden your half MOA rifle, you go to confirm zero, and now it's a 3 MOA gun. What happened? Well, something's wrong with the barrel. We used to have to take that whole rifle and ship it MC-130, fly it all the way back to Conus. From there, it got mailed to the factory. They had to put a new barrel in it, and you weren't going to get it back at deployment. You just weren't going to get it back. The advantages now is if I shoot out a barrel and I have a spare, like let's say another caliber, I can swap to that other barrel, take that barrel that's now shot out, send an email, a freaking email, instantaneous to the rear, and they send me a new barrel, and with the appropriate bolt or whatever, depending on what kind of system it is. But now me, the operator, I don't lose my gun. I can be up in that Mountain Heights site. I can be in Canada on an elk hunt up there hunting for 90 days and swap barrels out, re-zero it, and get back out hunting with my buddies. So just keep it in mind if you're looking at getting a gun down the road and you're looking. You want to. I want to take my firearms to the next level. Understand there's a reason to have that monolithic upper. There's a reason to have the quick change ability. And a lot of quick change barrels are complete failures. They are. And they're cool to say it changes, but they don't work. They're not reliable. They're not accurate. And these guys, they do it. You pulled it off. I don't know how you do it. I want to see.
Who had the patent for the monolithic rail?
What's that?
You have a patent for it?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, turns out.
Yeah,
You need to share that patent with everybody else. So,
To my previous point, Carl's a great engineer, but doesn't necessarily always portray what was previously.
I torque shit till it doesn't move anymore. I know I'm joking.
This Carl.
So to help you out on our torque, on our wrench to do your quick change barrel, it has like a gas cap, so it torque limits
Click,
out,
click, click.
so you
Nice.
can't over torque the head.
Now the M24 sniper weapon system, they fielded in late 80s. It actually came with a 65 inch-pound torque wrench. And the SR25s, the M40XBs, a lot of our other guns did not. But whatever it was, I found the correct sockets and I used that 65 inch-pound torque wrench for it. So I was at least trying. Now granted, some of those things should not have been torqued the 65 inch-pound, but I was at least trying. I wasn't doing what Sularoo did, which was use a crescent wrench and just torque everything down. So, all right, good stuff. Anything else?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. We're very pleased with everything that you've talked about this evening and many other people that introduced on the stage I've known for a long, long time. And
Steve Holland. I appreciate Steve introducing you to me and inviting you to come on the show. Steve is good people, and unfortunately, Steve has done so much for not just the SF community, but the whole gun community. And unfortunately, Steve has not gotten a lot of recognition that he deserved. So anytime I can pump up Steve Holland or help share him and knowledge about him, I encourage all you guys that have known Steve. We're not going to ask for Steve Holland war stories tonight because most of them involve tequila in Vegas. But no, Steve is good people, and what I don't want to see happen, he's got a lovely daughter who always watched Dad deploy, but someday Steve's going to be gone, and Steve's grandkids will have never met that great American, and I want his daughter to be able to come back and pull these live streams up and say, here's your grandfather, and he was awesome, and you missed out. So, anyways, you guys are helping me do that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys helping me do that, without a doubt.
Nope, you got a great channel, and
Take
we wanted
care.
to make sure
Thank you.
got
Thank you again,
like-minded
Thank you
Carl.
guys. Lewis Machine and Tool, awesome stuff. More great stuff coming in the future. If you wanted to leave the 308 one here, I will pay the stamp at the door. What, $200? For all my ATF agents that are in the chat room right now, I have all my tax stamps. I do. Guys, I am too old to break the law and do shit illegal. I am. All my shit I'm too old for that. I'm too old for that. Have fun, guys. Yeah, thanks, guys. All right. Who to bring up next? All right. Dolly Parton. No, she's not here. She's not here. Anybody else who wants to come up? Sularoo is the. I don't want to do that. I so don't want to do Sularoo. All right, Sue, come on, come visit. Hey, it's Sularoo. Come on, Sue. Come on, come visit. Come on, Sue. Boy Named Sue, the old Johnny Cash song. All right, a lot of you guys know Sularoo. If you don't know Sularoo, it's my channel. Most of you guys know me. For people in our studio audience, do not know that melon right there. You spend more time in the post offices. You look at the wanted posters. You'll see this face more often.
Or running out of your bedroom, for all you jealous husbands.
There's a reason why he's on wife 6. Is it wife 6?
I'm on number 5.
Number 5. All right, but 3 and 4 were the same woman.
2 and 3.
2 and 3 were the same woman. Tell him why, Sue. You want to realize how mentally handicapped he is. Why did you marry the wench a second time, Woodchuck?
I thought I was going to get my stuff back up there in Fort Campbell.
He's trying to get his furniture back. His furniture back. I know. How did that work out for you, Subaru?
I ended up with 2 duffel bags coming out of Baghdad. Yeah.
You can't make that up. You can't. I'm not joking. So
I was just out back telling John Rich that I was like Otis on Andy Griffith's show. The MPs, she would call the MPs, and I would just go walk into and just lock myself up.
She would, because she was in the military. She knew in the military you are guilty until proven innocent. That's wrong. But understand, when you sign that contract, you're no longer protected by the Constitution. You fall under what's called the Uniform Code of Military Justice. A lot of people don't realize that. But
Military justice, it's not fair.
So he's deployed in Baghdad with us. He's literally not even in the same country. And his wife would call the MPs and tell them that he had just beat her. And they would show up. And he's like, you understand, we know your husband is on the other side of the planet. He could not physically have hit you. It's not physically, laws of physics wouldn't allow it. Right? And she goes, I know, but you still have to take my statement. It will still be on the blotter report that still goes all the way up to Starfleet Command in Tampa, Florida. And the general in Tampa, Florida would call 5th Special Forces Group commander, and I want Sularu on the carpet right now. We can't do that. Sue is in Baghdad. I am not making this up. Not making it up. So, if I ever write my book, which I won't, but if I ever write my book, my wife knows all my war stories. And I got war stories about Travis Rolfe and Objective Kelly and Bridget, the initial invasion of Afghanistan. I've got stories with a bunch of these guys in here, Afghanistan, Iraq, Halo School. I've got all my war stories. They're each a chapter in this book. It'll never be written. My son has taken my war stories video and actually typed them all out. We've got all 32 chapters. They'll never be published, but I have them. 32 chapters. I don't even get my own chapter. All my stories are about other great guys. I don't get my own chapter in my own book. There is one chapter called Break Glass in Time of War, and that entire chapter is about Monkey Boy right here, Sularu. I don't even get a chapter in my own book. Sue gets his own chapter. How'd you pull that shit off?
Because I'm not very good in garrison. I don't. I never made it to sergeant major for a reason.
So Sue comes to my A team, and we're out doing a live fire stalk, Cassidy Mount site.
9/11.
It just happened to be September 11th, 2001. It's just another day of training.
I just told Carl Lewis that story. Yeah, we did a coin toss, so who gets to take the live shot?
Who gets to take the live shot?
I won the toss.
Heads.
He won the toss.
So we pick us a nice little loop. We're all in ghillie suits, which, by the way, he's a mountain man. So the front of my ghillie suit is all slick canvas, waxed down, so you can slide on your belly.
Mine's leather.
It's not leather, it's split freaking deer hide. It's leather, but it's leather made out of animals he has killed.
Buckskin, yeah.
Anyway, so me and Monkey Boy, we're doing this stalk, and we're one of the first teams done.
We were the first one.
We hit our target, and everybody's like, we had no idea where you guys were. Why? Because
the barrel of his rifle was on my shoulder. We're sitting up in the woods.
He's sitting. I'm shooting over his shoulder. He's spotting for me. Great shot. So we come in. We're the first team back there. Second team comes in. Jeff Frensley.
Yep.
Jeff Frensley walks around the side of the building because he's hung like a gerbil, so he won't pee in front of us. So he wants a little privacy. He goes around the building, and that's where the Humvee is, where the combo guy is, because you got to have range control. Well, Frensley comes back, and he goes, hey man, we're going to war. Somebody just flew a plane into the World Trade Center. And me and Sue were like, bullshit.
We thought it was an accident.
He's like, I'll bet you a case of beer. I'm like, you're lying, dude. He's like, well, he walks back around the corner. He comes back a few minutes later. We're cleaning our guns. Me and Sue, we're doing what we need to do. We're getting the gear ready. And Frensley comes back and says, hey, they just flew another plane into the other tower. And we're like, bullshit. I bet you a case of beer.
I believed him. I grabbed the bullhorn and I hit the siren. Yeah.
I didn't believe him. And the third time he came back and he said they just flew a plane into the Pentagon. By then, Sue blew the horn. All the rest of the snipers came in, and we're huddled around the little radio in the Humvee. So I know a lot of y'all know. You remember where you were when the towers fell. My daughter was a year old. How old were you, Nick, when the towers fell? My son was 5 years old. You understand, most of the people in the U.S. or the world right now, they look at September 11th as just another day in the history book, something they see on TV. It was the start of something big for me and Sue. By that afternoon, I had all my desert gear laid out on the driveway and was spray painting it shades of brown because we already knew we were going to...
After we got on post because somebody forgot their ID card.
So they locked down Fort Campbell, and we get to the gate, and we're all in ghillie suits. When they start checking everybody's IDs, Sue had his wallet. I didn't have my wallet. So this MP, a couple of MPs, they're guarding the gate. They won't let me out. They make me get out of the truck. I'm standing there in a ghillie suit, and you won't let me on the base.
You had to go down the fence line 100 meters.
You know gate 10, right? You know how the gate, but the fence doesn't come. So the truck drives off. It's got to go to the Cav Country. It's got to go and it's got to make a left. Well, the truck stops at the stop sign. He's getting ready to turn, and I looked at him like, "Are you guys allowed to abandon your post?" And they're like, "No, we got to stay right here." And I'm like, "I don't." And I bolted. I took off running, and so I come up behind the truck, and these guys are driving away, and Sue's looking right at me, and all he's got to do is tell the driver to stop and let me in. I'm trying to run in a ghillie suit, and I'm running after this truck, and these guys are just laughing their butt off. MPs are yelling, "Stop or we'll shoot." Really? I'm the one with the sniper rifle in my hand. You're going to shoot a pistol at me. Knuckleheads. And from there, initial invasion of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You want to tell them the story of you throwing your frickin' tomahawk at me?
No, that's an old story. No, I'm going to tell a story about when we were off the coast of Oman, trying to get into Afghanistan. We were the last company that got called in. All of our 5th group brethren were already either inside of Afghanistan or getting ready to go.
Yeah, they were in Uzbekistan.
And we were sitting off the coast, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to get into Afghanistan. We fell under the command of a Navy SEAL. Our commander was actually a Navy SEAL because we were A-15, the direct action company. So we're trying to figure out how we're coming in, and the SEAL operations officer came in and said, "Aren't you guys Halo qualified?" And Carl and I looked at each other and said, "Yeah, we're Halo qualified." And he said, "Why don't you guys just jump in?" And Carl and I were like, "Oh, hell yeah, we're going to jump in." Right? And we started looking for little DZs all over the place. Well,
I actually went up on
the team sergeant and the team leader were like, "Oh, we're not level 1 qualified, and we haven't done our certification." And I was like, "Do you know where Halo came from? It came from Vietnam. Those guys did one practice jump, and then they went in operational." I said, "All those regulations are out the window. We're at war."
So
right? So the team sergeant and the team leader left the tent while Carl and I were picking out LZs.
So I actually got on I bummed a ride on an AC-130 Spectre gunship that night that was going to fly out over Afghanistan. And you had to be able to run oxygen, which, because we were Halo, I could run oxygen. So I bummed a ride, and while we're up there, I'm sitting in their the little box where they control the guns and everything. And I had Sue's list of here's the target. That was NAI.
That's what we're gonna Halo in. We're gonna parachute into this.
I had to check where we're gonna potential places to land. Put the snipers in, and that was cool. Kind of ride on an AC-130 Spectre gunship doing live combat ops in Afghanistan. Got back. We could jump here. We can land helicopters here. And I actually thought we were going to be able to do it. And then they said, pack your shit, you're going to Kandahar.
Yeah, we got a ride to go to Kandahar, but the intel officer gave us satellite imagery and some of the pictures off the AC-130. And my primary LZ, we would have jumped on about 2,000 or 3,000 Taliban.
Yeah.
Right on their campfires and everything. And I was like, what a hell of a way to go. We would have made up for some time right there.
Be careful what you ask for. So and yeah, this is the stuff you'll never see in the movies for sure. Yeah. We got to Kandahar. Are you sure you don't want to tell them the time you threw your tomahawk out?
No, I don't want to tell that story.
I don't mean he threw.
We went to Kandahar, then we came back, and then we went to Djibouti, then we went to Iraq. I was in Iraq for 2 solid years waiting for my divorce to be final and everything. And then I'm one of the few guys that actually got to go back to 10th group. On my tough boxes, I used to have, Sue, it sucks to be me, LaRue, and 10th group or bust. I was a 5th group guy at the time, but I'd always say, I want to go back to 10th group. They're twice as good, do the math, that kind of thing. Well, I got my wish, and I was transferred from 5th group back to 10th group while I was in Baghdad. So I had to come back here to Nashville, and I had to get out of Fort Campbell, drive to Fort Carson, and then go right back to Baghdad, which is okay with me. But on my way out of Fort Campbell, I stopped here in Nashville. My cousin was playing at the track right up the road here. He's a great guitar player. I taught it's a damn lie. I can't carry a tune in a rucksack. But anyway, I was standing there watching my cousin Colt Prather up on the stage, and I noticed a girl at the bar. She was a really good-looking woman. So I walked up to her and I was like, "Hey, would you like to know that singer?" And she's tapping her feet to the music and everything. And she's looking over at Colt Prather and she goes, "How do you know Colt Prather?" I said, "That's my cousin. I'll introduce you." And he goes, "Well, that's nice to know. That's my husband. I'll introduce you." So that was my family reunion with Colt Prather over here in the audience.
Yeah, Sue brought some guests.
So I never was good with picking up the ladies.
He's picked up a lot of them. He has. He's also picked up venereal diseases along the way too.
No, never had one of those.
We're not talking about them tonight. Okay, all right.
I'm allergic to penicillin.
No, initial invasion of Afghanistan. Right before the end, we did this big hit. Travis is right over there. We hit these 2 targets. We had to hit them at the same time. Bridget and Kelly. Our target was a deliberate assault. We actually flew in, a helicopter offset, snuck in, and I'm not going to tell them about you chasing the chain of command out of the tent.
I didn't get to go on that one. I was the Daco, the guy that escorted him to the helicopter.
Anyway, the other target, which got hit at the same time, they did a rolling assault, 160th, put them in. They rolled the Humvees out of the back. Great target. Tony Pryor got a Silver Star. Bronze Star. I got a Bronze Star out of it. I
got a Happy Meal.
Even the NBC private, I think it was actually E4, that went on target to help do SSE. Even he got an ARCOM with a V. And he's serious as a heart attack. When we came back,
I got a
from
little
Fort
Rifleman.
Campbell, everybody got a Bronze Star or Silver Star. Literally, I mean, we got in some hellacious gunfights. Everybody except for one person, Sulu got a freaking dental appointment. I mean, you look at that set of orders, it listed literally everybody on the manifest except for Monkey Boy here.
I got a dental appointment at the proctologist.
Carl,
What's up, Steve?
we gotta do the box that goes.
All right, you know, I'm gonna, as much as I love visiting with my brother Sularu here, I'm gonna hand the mic off to Steve Holland, and because we all know this is the Tactical Rifleman show, it's not the Carl Erickson show, and I'm quickly working myself out of a job. So, Steve, come snuggle.
Carl Lewis.
Carl, you jump up here.
It's one of the best gun makers I've ever known.
All right,
Carl Lewis.
I'm giving this up here. Hold on. You stay right there.
Carl.
Why do you always have to put your sunglasses on before you come up? Your future's that bright?
Because I wear my sunglasses at night.
Okay.
Sit in the middle. Okay. So, TR Nation, how you guys doing? Now you know we can't do anything without the segment of the show, Steve's Haversack, or the box that goes. Ooh. So we're gonna have Mr. Carl Lewis do the honors of opening the box for this segment, so we can find out what's in the box that goes. Ah. You got a bite? No. Sit.
All right. All right, the box.
Check for wires first.
Check your wires.
No.
Check for wires.
Okay. Ready?
Okay, but now, before we open it, stop. Have a seat. Okay. Have a seat. Relax. Okay.
Just as nervous as you
Hold
are.
on, Mike. Now we gotta get the box over here, right?
Okay.
Checking for wires.
Checking for wires.
Where's my mic? You ready?
Ready.
Open the box. What's coming out of the box? What's coming out of the box? What he's got in the box? What does he have in the box that goes? And we say, where's Mr. Jamie Gap? Where's Mr. Jamie Gap? From the box that goes, Mr. Jamie Gap, Mr. Carl Lewis would like to present you.
Get out of here. Seriously?
Yeah.
Carl, get out of here, man. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
This guy is just a great dude who
Stop it.
cares about
Stop it.
hiring people
Stop
in
it.
the community.
Stop it.
Thanks, man. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That is great, dude.
Thank you.
You get that stamp. You're gonna be the one that's gonna get that espresso on this. That's
Okay.
awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate
Thanks.
that. Hey, sir, man.
Tell
Hey, when you die, can I have that?
Tell wait, hold on. Tell the TR Nation
Yes.
what you have.
So this is a 16-inch, 6.8
Hold it up.
SPC monolithic upper.
Gosh, dang it, that is awesome.
6.8 SPC.
6.8 SPC, buddy. You just said that thing about not being. What you said? I heard you're famous when you finally make it on TV.
Yeah.
That's
Play that video, Nick.
Yeah.
You got it?
You got that video? Oh yeah, I forgot he had it marked.
Like this. You know what? That's a 6.8 SPC. We use those in the war on occasion.
That's awesome, man. Thanks.
There you go.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything.
I went down to SOCOM and I mentioned they wanted to change calibers many years ago. I was following Steve's footsteps, and they were talking about all kinds of different calibers and stuff like that. And I was like, "What about the 6.8 SPC?" And they're like, "Oh, you must know Steve Holland." And I was like, "Yeah, he's a great guy, man."
He is.
Get out of here.
I won't ever say it in public, but no. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks.
And the okay, what's next?
Is it coming out of the box?
The box. Everybody's got to make the sound. 1, 2, 3. Chant,
Gotta use
chant,
two hands.
chant. Bring it out. What's in the box? 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 Carl, what's in the box?
Another 6.8 SPC.
Another 6.8 SPC upper. Where is Alan Crawford? Calling for Alan Crawford. Calling
Big
for
Al,
Alan
where you
Crawford
at?
once.
He's not here.
Calling for Alan Crawford twice.
I know him. I'll take it.
Big Al is not here. Big Al is part of our team, just like Jamie is, and I love those guys because Carl and I, you know, we've been around a very, very long time. So you've been around a long time, like you know, kind of like not quite so old middle-aged women. They know how many shoes they have, no matter what they tell you they have. They know how many pair of shoes they have. And I said, you know what, Carl? You and I, let's get Alan and Jamie some pairs of shoes. Okay, so we wanted to make sure that those guys get taken care of. So Alan's not here, but I know he's probably watching, and he's just the big silverback is climbing up the wall at his house. But it's coming to you, brother. We'll get it to you. And
Quality
of course,
firearm.
all from Mr. Carl Lewis Machine and Tool. Let's give him a hand. Let's give him a hand. Carl.
Thanks, everybody.
That's an awesome work. Awesome work.
Good. All right, you guys can carry on and
Carl's got a fight to catch back to Missouri.
Iowa.
Iowa. Oh,
Made,
you're not
made in Iowa.
Iowa now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because you crossed the border.
We moved from Illinois to Iowa. To
Get away from the Democrats.
They moved out of Illinois. They went to Iowa.
Get away from what's that mayor's name over in Chicago?
What's that?
The mayor's name in Chicago? Deadfoot, something like that? Lightfoot.
Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah.
He's from Michigan.
But I know, speaking for Alan, and I haven't reached out to you, he's going to love this.
Good.
I know he and Jamie, like I said, those guys work so hard, and Carl and I just, you know, I just want to take care of our guys.
That's right.
And I appreciate it, Carl.
Yep. Anybody that has to put up with you and Carl need a little extra help.
No, put up Carl.
No,
You know,
Carl's-
I'm telling you,
Carl's a good guy.
He's a handful, isn't he, Nick? He's a handful. Mr. I don't like to hug. Carl, I like to hug. Well, if you hug me, you're touching my concealed weapon. Oh, okay, I'm good. Don't shoot. I'll shoot back.
All right.
So,
thanks
Carl,
again.
it's all yours, brother. Yeah. The Chris
Yeah,
Barrett. Chris Barrett.
Carl, in case you guys didn't know it out there in Tactical Rifleman, Carl is a 18 Delta, one of the best MOSs out there in the military occupational specialties. 18 Deltas are fantastic medics. As far as Carl's bedside manner goes, you know, if I was to get shot in combat, I wouldn't want anybody else working on me in the mud, doing surgery, trying to save my life. But in the team room, the worst digital rectal you ever want to receive, right there. Look at the fingers on this guy.
I
He doubled them
accidentally
up.
put 2 fingers into that finger of the glove. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was an
I don't
accident.
need to go to prison thanks to this guy.
No, he'd always come up to me with like, "Hey, Carl, I need you." I'm like, I don't treat stupidity. You're on your own. You have to apply direct pressure. Get out of here. If it was above the waist, he got aspirin. If it was below the waist, he got foot powder. I mean, how am I wrong for doing that? No, I was about as good as a medic as you were a commo guy.
I admit I was the Army's worst commo guy there. I didn't even like talking on the radio.
I was
If
not.
they
the
called
worst
me up,
medic
I'd
guy.
say, "Here, sir, it's for you. I don't want to talk."
When I went through the Q course, they accidentally double booked my class. So instead of there being like 90 90-something students. There was 198 students that showed up in San Antonio. And when I walked across the stage at Fort Bragg, get my nice pretty Green Beret, there was only 5 of us. 5 medics made it the first time through. So the old song, the old Green Beret song, the Ballad of the Green Berets, when John Stryker Myers earned his Green Beret, 100 men will test today, only 3 will get the Green Beret. Yeah, it was still the truth. It really was.
Yeah.
Sue
Hard
is
boots to
proof
fill,
that on
hard boots to
occasion
fill.
people slip through the cracks.
John Stryker-Meyer and John Mullins. John Mullins just made the Green Beret Hall of Fame.
Really?
He got inducted in the Green Beret Hall of Fame this weekend, along with Sergeant Major Rick Lamb.
Rick Lamb made it also.
They both got inducted this weekend, so I'm on my way to Oklahoma to give him a new Green Beret because his is so faded out it's not even green anymore. It's like a turquoise or something,
So who got the new gun?
That's Big Al.
Big Al's. Hey, Big Al, I know you don't have any room at your house for this, so I'm gonna.
It's 6.8.
I just happen to have some 6.8 ammo laying around. Big Al, I'm gonna just make sure it stays well maintained, and I'm gonna break it in for you. No worries at all. Yo! Why does Steve do that? That's Steve Holland for you.
He got it off of MTV.
All right, who you want to bring up, man? Why is it you and me again?
Where's Travis Roth? We need to bring Travis up.
Bring Travis Roth up.
Travis.
Damn, Travis. Come on, Travis.
Your turn. I'm gonna step out and you talk to Travis.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legend, the myth.
One old fat guy gets to come up here.
Oh, dude. I'm not saying we have history like in a bad way. When I first got the group, my whole A team, we were a bunch of cherries. Even my captain was fresh out of the Q course. We didn't know nothing. And down the hallway, I was on 536, the bass boat team. And we had down the hallway was 535, the scuba team. And you were one of the first real Green Berets I met in my company. That was 100 years ago, dude.
And I was new, like a year new. So.
Yeah, but you were still a seasoned Green Beret. You were the man. You were the man. Man, you guys had Randy Rhodes on your team. You had Mario Vigil. Yeah.
Text with him tonight, actually.
Man, that's
cool.
We are old. We are old.
Yeah, but you look at now, what is old? 3 wars now?
3 wars, yeah.
And that I was in 2 more revolutions after that. So, yeah, a lot of experience in that old.
Yeah,
so.
When we talk generations in Special Forces, a generation is 5 years. Because in general, when most guys get to an A team, they usually get 3 years on an A team, and then they go to the B team, they go to battalion or group staff, they go, believe it or not, guys actually get sent to be like drill sergeants or recruiters, and then they come back to group again, and now they're a team sergeant, but you've got all the new guys that have come in. So when you say Special Forces, when I say that Randy Worst was 2 generations ahead of me, or I say that Steve Holland was 2 generations ahead of me, a generation is 5 years in SF. So for, because I'm not that old, I'm really not, but I did 19 years on an A team. My first time on a B team was as company sergeant major. I had to go to group for a year and be first sergeant at group headquarters. That sucked. But after that, they sent me right back. I got to take A15, and by then you were already winding down, man.
Yeah, I did 13 and a half years straight and quit.
Yeah.
Because I was at 20 and I was getting promoted out of having fun.
Yeah.
So.
You were warrant officer.
Yeah, so I W2 to W3, I declined promotion and retired, but I did it because I already knew I was going to form a company and the timing was right. And you look at the bigger picture and say, this is my new pathway. This is what I'm going to do. So and that's what I did. So.
Everybody gets all the kit they want now. Everything's Molly, and everybody's got the best body armor and the big budgets. President Bush wrote a blank check to U.S. SOCOM. That's not how it always used to be. Before the towers fell, if you wanted, Sue mentioned I was a medic. I wanted my gear a certain way to be able to carry my medical gear and still be able to access magazines and frag grenades and everything. So we would have to customize our own equipment. We didn't have Molly. You had pockets sewn. If you wanted to move a pocket, you had to cut it off and re-sew it. I remember you bought a used sewing machine from one of the riggers, and Travis was that guy in the unit that, hey, Travis, can you take this piece of rigger nylon with the buckle on it? Can you make me a rigger belt? And now everybody's got these fancy assault belts. We didn't have any of that. Nobody had stuff like that. I remember you turned me on, it was Paraclete.
Yep. Because I went to the Q course with Neil Ivory, who was one of the two founding members of Paraclete. It was Tim Denuzio and Neil Ivory. And Neil and I went to the Q course together, and then we split at language because he already spoke Spanish. And then a couple years later, he got out and formed Paraclete with Tim. And so every time I would go back to Fort Bragg for another school, I would hang out on 4-day weekends or 3-day weekends and learn. I already knew how to sew, but sewing's easy. Sewing in a straight line's nothing. It's conceptualizing how to put something on top of something and not sew it together, or not sew everything flat. So once I learned that, and I learned that from Tim and Neil at Paraclete, and then that's when I started making custom kit for guys at work and myself, and then it kind of ballooned into a big business.
Yeah. But I remember I wanted my gear my way, and I had, instead of a 100-ounce Camelback on your back, it would always pop whenever I did a halo landing. It always popped. So I wanted 2 50 ounces side by side on my back, and then I wanted all my medical gear a certain way, and Travis said, I can't do that. He hooked me up with Neil at Paraclete, and going back and forth over the phone, that kit, I still have it up in the attic, and it is the sexiest SF medic rig ever. And I wore it all through the initial invasion of Afghanistan, Iraq, and then Molly started showing up, and it went to the attic. But till then, I had the sexiest kit. I really did. Yeah. So from there, you started Mayflower, wasn't it?
I founded Mayflower Research and Consulting. I ran that for about 8 years, I think. It's still a company as it is today, but I sold Mayflower to Velocity Systems. Equity transfer, I became a partner in Velocity, and which Velocity now is a multi-million-dollar company. We do armor and equipment, and
business.
We do okay.
You do okay. You've got certain God-given gifts. One is names and networking, and that's something I'm terrible at. I really am. I'm terrible at that. I have other God-given talents. That's just not one of them. Guys, Travis, again, he came to A15 a little after I did, but he was there for the initial invasion. And our company did great stuff. It really did, man. And Travis, by then, he was one of the warrant officers. He was one of the guys making the decisions. I still remember you in Kandahar walking around. He was... everybody else running M4s. He had an M4 with an M203 mounted on it, right?
That I had a saw. I was the overpaid. I was a W1 overpaid saw gunner because I had been a weapons squad leader in the airborne infantry prior to that. In the first Gulf War, I was a weapons squad leader, and so I knew the value of a belt-fed gun. And if you got it, take it on the target.
Yeah.
And so I had a mix of guns, and I was a recce team leader at the time as a W1. But I think out of the 6.5 years as a warrant, 3.5 years I was a team leader. So both a recce and assault.
Yeah.
So,
awesome stuff. Awesome stuff indeed. All right, guys, you got to put the face to the name. I share you and a lot of the other guys in the company and stories that we tell on these live streams, and I just wanted them to get a chance to meet you. What's new with you, man? What do you want to share with the Tactical Rifleman world?
No, so we're all over the world. I just spent a week in Poland meeting with the Gram and our Polish brothers over there, as well as a lot of the other Eastern European guys that are out there doing God's work. I was in the UK for a week meeting with our SF brothers over there. Then I spent a week in Southern Pines, then a week in DC, and I've got a week back in DC in a couple weeks. Got a whole bunch of customers coming here to Nashville, and then next year kicks it off again with SHOT Show, outdoor retailer, and then back overseas for about 8 or 10 trips.
And I thought I was busy. He stays busy. He does stay busy. All right, I'm going to let you go, man, because I know you've got a bunch of guests here. He's babysitting. Sularu's cousin or brother? Cousin. He was just talking about you, right? He was. All right, so here's the deal. I need dirt on Sularu. Now, I have enough dirt on him. I have, but I want to hear what dirt do you have on Sularu? Grab a mic, man. You're a country music star. You know how to run a mic, don't you?
No, you don't. I'm not a star. Not even a little bit.
Me neither. So you understand, we've only got 7 people watching. So you make a total fool out of yourself.
7 people. I might know a couple of them.
So you gonna sing us a song?
No, not even a little bit.
What?
No.
Dude, with a hat like that, you know he can sing, right? Who wants to hear him sing? Who wants to hear him sing?
Singing a song. No,
right?
no. I'm not as confident and as good as John is. He just sit up here and sing a song. I gotta have my guitar.
You gotta have your guitar. Did you bring your guitar with you?
No.
Sue, come on! I got another chair up here. Oh snap! I'm gonna sit between the 2 cowboy hats here.
This man can sing here.
Yeah. Okay.
I taught him everything I know, and then he graduated first grade. So.
You guys understand this? The IQ at this table just went up by 7 points. So I'm just.
By you being in the middle.
What? What's up? What you got? Pass him his drink?
I got to brag. I got to brag on.
All right.
I got to brag on Colt a little bit. Colt Prather comes from the Prather Ranch. It's in southern New Mexico.
Can you guys hear Sue okay? I couldn't hear him. Was that, yeah?
Is this working? Okay.
All right.
I got to brag on Colt a little bit. He comes from the Prather Ranch, southern New Mexico. I was raised in Del City, Texas. Not much of a town anymore. The illegal immigration has pretty much wiped out all the small towns in New Mexico and on the border of Texas there. But the Prather Ranch, Carl and I went to Ranger School, and when I went to Ranger School, I was standing in the door to do my desert phase of Ranger School, and I recognized the Oregon mountains there in New Mexico, and it was above Fort Bliss, and the plane turned around, and I was like, there's Uncle Brian's ranch. I need to bury this machine gun and go get something to eat. Let's go, and I jumped out. So, no, this ranch is in the middle of nowhere, and this young man here learned how to play guitar probably better than anybody I've ever seen, and he's got an incredible voice.
Why did
and
you
he's
been here
in Nashville for about 20 years. I just invited him to come out tonight.
Acoustic? You want electric? What do you want?
No, I'm
sure.
No.
I'm just trying to make up to him for hitting on his wife.
This is Broadway in Nashville. I can probably find a freaking guitar here, right? It's possible. It's possible. This is the road you're going to get discovered on. Is this road here?
Discovered?
That
is long since past, my friend. Being discovered is, yeah.
You're not discovered. You're way past that. Okay. All right. Double platinum albums?
No, not that past. Talking about past. The opportunity is past.
No such thing. No such thing. Hell, Steve didn't get discovered till about a year ago. Steve had fallen off the planet. So we'll make the world a better place. All right, so I got them both here. You're proud of your cousin.
He comes from
I'm proud of your cousin.
I'm proud of this.
But
guy,
you guys don't understand how much commanders hate this individual right here. I mean, they hate him.
I can understand that.
You can understand. So you know.
I have a leadership challenge.
You are a leadership challenge. So I need fresh dirt. You have any little vignettes at all? Any little Sularoo stories? Come on now. You got to have something.
Well.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
I don't really have anything. I don't really have anything other than I know, like my sister's here.
Your sister.
My sister's here, which they're closer. Y'all about the same age.
They're not too close.
Yeah.
I mean,
Colt was a lot younger than us. We were actually out working in the fields, and Colt got to play with the guitars. And like, why didn't he have to work?
No, see, no, that's bullshit right there. That's bullshit. I put it in the time.
All right, you were getting ready to start a story. It involved your sister and Sularoo. And
it's just the
is
idea
there any
that,
livestock involved with this? It's going downhill real quick here. Come on, sis.
I know.
I got a story.
Come on, sis. Come on.
Come on up here, Nikki.
No.
Nikki, come on.
I got a story.
That's 4 Nicks in them.
So years after Carl and I separated.
I didn't see this guy for probably 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years.
When you joined the military.
Went for a long time.
Do you have dirt on Sularoo?
Nobody would understand the stories from
Well, I got a great story about the Prather Ranch.
All right, I'm
Brian Prather, my uncle, their daddy, he is the nephew of a guy named John Prather. John Prather used to raise mules for the Army, right, above Fort Bliss. So every year they'd raise thousands of mules that were sold off to the Army. World War II started, and they said, well, we don't need your mules anymore, but we'd like to fly these planes, these fighter planes, these aircraft over your property. And they allowed them to do it for a while. And you go out there now, you can still find 50 cal brass that's been laying in the sun in the desert for going on 70 years now.
Yeah.
This stuff has turned black. It's high sheen. It's beautiful. I mean, it looks like Indian pottery, but it's beautiful brass the way it's aged out there in the desert. But John Prather in the 50s, they tried to create eminent domain, and White Sands Missile Range and Fort Bliss tried to take that property away from John Prather.
White Sands.
When the U.S. Marshals came to take that property, John Prather met him at the door with a 30-30 rifle and said, "Get off my land." And he held the Army off until, what was it, 62, 63?
There's actually a movie called Fire on the Mountain.
Yeah.
That you can watch.
They didn't take it until he died.
They couldn't take his land until he died. They actually grandfathered it, and they didn't take the. So I knew this story. This is about the year I was born. About the day he died I was born later, and I was acquisitions in 10th group, and Special Forces Command started a pre-mission training site on Fort Bliss, Texas. Right, so. I didn't know how they brought me in from Fort Carson, Colorado, because they knew that my family had something to do at Fort Bliss, and Special Forces was having a hard time getting in there. The Ranger School had stopped using that for desert training years before that. So poor Nikki here, I stopped at her house, and I said, "Hey, would you come to Fort Bliss with me today, and just hang out with me today?" And she's like, "Sure." Well, we ended up going to the headquarters of Fort Bliss, Texas. And I said, "Yeah, we're Special Forces." And they go, yeah. And you guys can use the range, and you can do this. And I was like, no. We want to go up to McGregor training area. We want to do 360-degree ranges. We want to do all that. And she goes, and these command people go, "Well, no, you can't do that. There's a land use agreement thing, and there's a bunch of ranchers up there that don't really like the Army and everything." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, but I've already talked to the ranchers up there and everything." And they're like, "How do you know them?" And I said, "Well, my mother, her name was Prather, and my Uncle Brian owns a ranch, and that's Nikki Prather right there." And you should have seen everybody just fall out of their chairs. Like, oh my God, they were like rolling out the red carpet for her and forgot all about me. But she does have a lot to do
I
with
want dirt on Sue, though. I want dirt on Sue. We already knew she was awesome. Dirt on Sue. You got any good stories on Sue?
He was a really scrawny little redhead kid back in the day. That's the only thing I can say. Am I wrong?
Oh, you're right about that.
Awesome.
And then
stuff.
years later, when I was at the Dell City Fair, we're talking about this town, Dell City, very small farming community in the southwest, West Texas. And the first time I'd seen you since I was, I don't even know, I was probably 7, 8 years old, and then I was a teenager. That's how long. Because he went away, and you joined the military.
The Army.
You did your thing.
Yeah.
In Bonnie's bar.
My mom's bar, yeah. My mom had the only bar within 100 miles.
You know, Sue, that does not surprise us at all. It does not surprise us.
The Sheep Herder Bar.
Yeah, she was the most foul-mouthed woman west of the Mississippi.
Big time.
Oh, shit.
But all of us kids, we could go in there, especially the nephews and the nieces and everybody else. We could go in there and just
Everybody
pour
was welcome
ourselves
in the bar.
a Coca-Cola with grenadine or whatever, and maybe whatever else. And he was sitting in there all by himself, and that's I'll never forget that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And he was sitting at the end. There was nobody else in there. It was during the parade, during the fair season, the harvest fair season. And I went in there. I was getting myself a Coke. I was probably, I don't know what, 10, 11 years old.
You were a teenager, but you're 12, something like that.
You guys are reminiscing.
Get myself a Coke, and he was like, "Hey, Colt," and I'm like, looked over like, "Who is that?" And it's this guy sitting there with, and I hadn't seen him in
I'll give you this seat for a second.
Yeah, I had big arms like him back then. I was doing lots of push-ups.
Come on.
And I couldn't believe it. He was like,
Hold it. I'm going to go grab, I want to
"Holy
bring John
crap,
Striker Myers next.
is that? I was told not to say your name tonight. I don't know. It's like Sue. I was like, Sue, is that Sue? That was before Sue. Anyway, that's the only dirt I have.
No.
She probably has the more dirt on you than I do.
Oh, we got along pretty good. Well, we didn't get along because they were girls and I was a guy. So she thought I was pretty weird because I was a guy.
I think we got along pretty good.
We have one cousin that we probably talk about that was the weirdest. That's our connection. Eddie, talking about Eddie, not to mention names or anything.
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia, my sister, yeah. Virginia. Yeah, Virginia and Nikki hung out, and I wasn't allowed to go in that room. You know.
That's what's weird about talking about this in anybody. It's like nobody gets the dynamic. Nobody gets the.
It just amazes me this little ranch in the middle of nowhere, and here we are in Nashville at the.
Do you try to explain to
Redneck
people
Riviera.
the dynamic of the ranch and the vastness and the?
Well, this is pretty famous territory. This is it used to be Lincoln County, New Mexico. Everybody's heard of Billy the Kid and Pat Garrett and everything.
Yep,
This is
why you in my chair?
this is all their territory. So you guys hear about Billy the Kid and Pat Garrett and everything. That's in the same area.
All right, hey guys. As much as I want more dirt on Sularoo, because we need more Sularoo stories.
I was an angel when I was young.
Yeah, we should probably wrap it up.
Just to
I don't
be
have it.
really clear, we just really don't have any dirt.
You don't have any dirt on Sue.
Well, how did I get the nickname Sue?
Everybody I know has dirt on Sue.
Okay, I'll tell the story. My sister
no.
Virginia, my nickname actually when I was young was Petunia. Petunia. The pig, because I would eat so fast that she called me Petunia Pig.
And that somehow turned into Sue.
But the way she would call me to dinner was Sue. Pig. That's how I got the nickname Sue.
All right, hey guys, we're gonna wrap this live stream up tonight. I got people glazing over. I see their eyes like it's time to go home, Carl. It's time to go home. All right, so we're gonna let everybody off. Dude, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. and take him home. Sue, just go away, dude. Ick, I gotta wash that now. Yuck.
I'll see you in Texas.
For all our guests that came on tonight, thank you for coming on. I want to thank all you guys for hanging out. It's been a decent live stream tonight. I want to thank John Rich for hosting us here at the Redneck Riviera. If you ever get down to Nashville, Tennessee, you got to go to Broadway. It's like a law. You got to go to Broadway. We're right near Kid Rock's place. It's called the Redneck Riviera. You go in on the first floor. The band's playing down there right now. I don't even know what color the walls are because they're covered with all the patches from the different police departments. John Rich is a great American that really, truly, passionately does support law enforcement and the military, and he's just good people. He really is. So I want to thank John again for supporting us tonight. I want to thank our sponsor tonight, Vaton E-Bikes. Awesome stuff indeed. It's funny. I got one great for hunting and stuff, but my wife will ride that Vaton E-Bike while me and my son are mountain biking. I cannot keep up with my wife going up the hill. She literally will blow me away on it. So anyways, great live stream tonight. Thanks to Vaton E-Bikes for sponsoring us. You can check out the Vaton E-link we've got below in the description under the video. You guys know the deal. If you're watching this afterwards, leave your comments down in the comment section. I'll pass them on to everybody. And yeah, I want to thank my son and the rest of everybody else that helped run the sound here. Bartenders, everybody, thank you. We love you. And what? Couple what? Steve, why do you always wait till the very end of it? Come on, come snuggle. Come snuggle. Steve is a terrible person. He really is. All right, come. All right, so we just ended the live stream and everybody's checking off, but what are we doing? Okay, ma'am, I don't remember your first name. Christy and Brent. You gotta grab your mic. Why did Steve bring you up here?
We're with USFCR. We are trying to help veterans.
Okay, what's the name of the organization?
U.S. Federal Contractor Registration.
U.S. Federal Contractor
Registration.
Okay.
So we're helping all companies get into the federal market space, from SAM to certifications, veteran certifications, 8A certifications, GSAs, bid writing, contract management, so forth. Helping everything A to Z with getting into federal contracting.
Cool. Very, very cool. You good with that?
Good. Yep, we're good.
Awesome. I'm sorry I didn't get them a shout out until right at the end. Steve was in charge of all this, and I apologize I didn't get you up here early. You forgive me? You forgive me? You guys forgive me? We're going to have them back on because I want to hear more about this great organization. I'm so sorry that y'all got snubbed till the end. All right, again, thanks for hanging out with us. We're a little over, we're just under 600 people still here at the end. That's not too shabby, all right? We had more before, but that's okay, I can live with that. We will see you guys next week, not Tuesday though. Next week instead of Tactical Tuesday, we're gonna do Military Monday. It will be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday, not Tuesday. It's kind of like the day before Tuesday. We'll see you next Monday. Same bad time, same bad channel. I'll be back in my studio, aka my office in my basement. But I'll see you guys all there, and thanks for joining us. This is where I ask my son to hit the button.
Incoming right there.